Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another home workout recorded live from Rex's gym. Today we're going to build on what we did last week on the Tuesday, which was the 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off circuit. Going to keep the exercises the same. We're just going to change the time frames a little bit. And without further ado, let's get into it. For our warm-up, all we need is a bit of a broomstick or yeah, pretty much this is a broomstick. Any sort of mop handle will do. Unscrew it and get ready for it. We're going to start with our walks. So let's get those knees up. Let's get moving. It's a little bit of a rainy one today, or as we call in Holland, just a day. So if it starts raining really hard, I might have to do a voiceover because this little tin shed is going to get pretty loud. We'll see how we go. Quad walks. Didn't get too many complaints about yesterday's workout, so that's good. Nobody was struggling with it too much. I'm glad to hear. Quads always feel good. Cradle walks. So, I want you to let me know, guys, either below as a comment or send me a message. How many of these workouts are you doing per week? Are you getting through all 7 of them? Are you doing 1 or 2? Are you just doing them as you feel like it? Just so I have a bit of an idea of how many of these are generally done and adjust the programming accordingly. And lunges. Now, a few of you have told me that you find the lunges or the Supermans or one of the walks more challenging. I hope you notice that as you do it more often, especially if you do it every day or close to it, they do get easier. Same goes with any of the exercises. If there's an exercise that you really struggle with, you find so hard, if you do it more frequently, you will get better at it. Funny that. All right, grab the broomstick. I want you to start putting it on your upper back, just on the muscles there. Feet hip width, slight bend in the knees, and I want you to rotate from side to side. Just get that easy rotation. Now I don't want you to start bending in the knees, so keep the knees nice and still. Allow that rotation to come from your upper back. Your lower back is actually not meant to rotate all that much. It's not built to do a lot of rotating, but the muscles higher in the spine, or the vertebrae higher in the spine, are. So that's where we want to get our rotation from. Next up, from this position, press up so the bar is in line with the back of the head. Feet in the squat position. Step back a little bit. And from here, overhead squat. Let's see how low you can get. I want to avoid dropping that bar forward or stepping forward. Stay nice and upright and hold that bar in the overhead position. Arms are nice and long, no bending. If your arms are bending, you're just pretending they should be extending. Let's do 3 more. Bring the bar down to the hips, narrower grip. And we're going to do a single leg deadlift. So 1 foot up, reach down about mid-shin and come back up. About mid-shin and come back up. Keep the chest proud. And switch sides. So the stick should be traveling down the legs, keeping contact or staying close to the body. Now what you notice on that last rep, as I went down, my knee caved in. You want to prevent that. You want to stay active, keep driving that knee out. That was better reps. Alright. So far for the warm-up. Now, workout time. Equipment you need. You can definitely use the stick for some balance. We have 4 exercises. They will seem familiar if you've done last week's workout. We will need a chair or a bench or something of the sorts. We're going to start in Bulgarians, then we have pike push-ups, then we have step-ups, and then we have side plank reach-throughs. Everything goes for 35 seconds, or adding 5 seconds to last a week's workout, just slowly adding on to the volume. However, we're also taking 35 seconds to rest in between exercises. So if we're going from one side of the Bulgarians to the other side of the Bulgarians, one side of the step-ups to the other side of the step-ups, side plank, we're taking no rest, straight from one into the other. But if we're moving from Bulgarians into push-ups, push-ups into step-ups, step-ups into planks, that's when you get your rest. We're going to do 4 rounds. If you have weights, there's definitely the Bulgarians you can use your weight on, the step-ups you can use your weight on, and you can also use a weight on the side plank reach-throughs. As always, guys, only add weight if you can really nail the working sets without weight. It is absolutely no use if we struggle touching the knee down to the ground in the Bulgarians and then adding weight. Like what we call your stacking fitness onto dysfunction. So make sure you really nail the movements first before adding weight. Hope that makes sense. I've got my trusted timer, of course, so when you're ready, if you need a stick for balance, grab a stick for balance. If you need to move somewhere where you can have access to a chair or a bench, do that. And then we'll get started with the Bulgarian. So 35 seconds each side. I'll keep my stick for the first round. Starting in 10 seconds. So Bulgarians, front foot nice and flat, back foot shoelaces down on the bench. If you want to use your stick, put them on the ground beside you. Down and up. The goal should be to get that back knee to touch the ground or get as close as you can. Now, keep a close eye on this knee. If that knee starts wobbling, we're in trouble. Keep it nice and steady, nice and straight. Five seconds before we switch. Remember, no time to switch over. Straight from the one, switch into the other. I like to switch sticks as well, or switch sides, just so that stick is my other foot. The wider out it is, the easier it is to keep your balance. But make sure we're not pulling up on the stick. That would be cheating. 15 seconds to go. 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. 35 seconds rest, and then we're going to go into our pike push-ups. Now, as we always do with our longer rests, feel free to do a stretch. If you have a sort of sore, tight spot that you need to address, this is the time to do it. A little bit of stretching is not going to hurt the rest of the circuit. Now, in 12 seconds, we're starting our pike push-ups. Boom. Stay there. Stay there. Not listening to me at all. All right, guys, pike push-ups. Hips up high, forehead to the ground, drive back up. Remember, can't quite do this version. Go back to regular push-ups. Can't quite do that one, go to the kneeling version. But ideally, be in that pike position, drop the forehead down, drive back up. Five seconds left. And time. All right, again, 35 seconds rest. I'm going to stretch my other side. Next up we have step-ups. So we have the 35 seconds on one side, no switch over time, straight into 35 seconds on the other side. I always have to be a little bit careful here. So I've got the beam running right here. I have to put it in the right position so I don't whack my dome. 3, 2, 1, and go. Now option 1 is get up using a little bit of oomph off that back leg. Option 2, no oomph, straight here. And option 3 is only gently touch the heel down to the ground and drive back up. Again, look at this knee. If it's wobbling, you ain't doing it right. 5 seconds before we switch sides. And switch sides. Five seconds, last rep. Control down. All right, 35 seconds rest, and then we have our side plank reach throughs. With the side plank reach through, I won't demonstrate with weight just yet. Again, make sure you're doing it well before you add any load to these movements. There's no use in stacking fitness on top of this function. Assume the side plank position, top leg is forward, bottom leg is down, lift those hips up, and then take your arm, reach all the way through onto the tippy toes, and back to the sides of the feet. Onto the tippy toes, sides of the feet. Seven seconds to go. And switch sides. The question I got last time, are you supposed to put that elbow down? So the elbow here? No, you don't put the elbow down on the ground. You reach through, you keep that single point of support. Tippy toes, and sides of the feet. 10 seconds to go. And down. All right, guys. First set down. 3, 2, go. Now, if this felt super easy, feel free to grab a weight. Any weight will do. You can do dumbbells, let's say hold them by the sides. You can do kettlebell, I say hold it up here, 2 kettlebells, med ball, a weight vest is also a possibility on this workout, but make sure you keep doing it well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and here we go. Knee down, drive back up. In those Bulgarians, try to have a fairly upright torso position. We want the leg to do the work. Notice what happens. The leg bends less, and I'm trying to throw the weight into my lower back. Stay upright, sink straight down, drive back up. Let the quad and the glute do the work. One more rep. And switch sides. Stay nice and upright. Stable position. Drop straight down. Quad, glute. You can actually help holding that bottom position with your knee a centimeter off the ground and try to actively squeeze those muscles. Makes it a lot easier for you to what we call recruit them, make them work for you. One more rep. All right, another 35 seconds rest. Now, if you went from using the stick to not using the stick, you should have probably already noticed what a difference that makes. If you go from the stick and just having that balance, just having that base of support, it's a fair bit easier. Not having the stick makes it a lot harder. So if that's your option, stay right there. 5 seconds before we go into the pike push-ups. 2, 1, and go. Ten seconds to go. And time. All right. Next up, we have our step ups. Now with the step ups, again, you can use your stick for balance. I'm trying to make it stay. You have the 3 options. Option 1, just step up. Option 2, control down, touch very softly, and then drive up without using that down leg. And option 3 is only touching the heel down. Option 3, of course, a fair bit harder. So you pick the option that's good for you and make sure this leg stays nice and stable throughout. As soon as this starts happening, we know we've lost the stability in our hip, and that's what we're trying to avoid here. So I'm working at option 2 now, just because it's relatively doable. I can get the muscles to work, and I don't have to be super engaged for this one, which helps me the whole talking thing while I'm exercising. 2, 1, and switch sides. No rest, straight into it. Watch the beam, woo, barely. So the difference between that level 2 that I'm doing now and the level 1 is on level 1, you can actually get a little bit of that push off. On level 2, you cannot. On level 3, lift the toes up, touch the heel down, drive back up. Does that have to be a little bit more engaged for that level 3? All right. After side step, we have, or step ups, we have that side plank reach. Now, I'll give you an example of using the weight. I'm just going to use a plate, and you're going to reach through with that plate. Does this make a massive difference? Not really, not for the core. If you want to challenge the core more, just move slower. Slower is harder. 4, 3, lift the hips, sides of your feet, and from there, reach through onto the tiptoes and reach back up. Now, if you have a look at my hips, they should be staying at about the same height. What often happens is we start piking up. We don't want that. That was the pike push-ups. 5 seconds. And switch sides. Feel those side muscles away from side planks yesterday. Keep the hips at level, reach through. One more rep. And time. That gets hard pretty quick. Now, as you can tell, today really shouldn't be a workout that gets you super out of breath. We're taxing the muscles here. Those get out of breath, sweat like a demon workouts are fine, but our number one goal should be to maintain as much muscle mass as possible. Maybe even build a little bit of muscle mass, because that's what burns the calories. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Nice and upright. Now, if you don't have any weights, how can you make this harder? I'll show you. 4 counts down. 1, 2, 3. Hold for 2. 1, 2. Up into 1, 2. 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2. Up into. Having that very controlled pace not only helps you do the exercise very well, it also makes it harder. And switch sides. The answer isn't always adding weight. Going slow like this can also really help with feeling which muscles are working. On this one we want quad and we want glute. Those two muscles should be carrying the load being you. And time. All right, so that's a different way to make it slightly harder. In the last round, I'll show you another way if it's all too easy for you with your bad self. Next up we have pike push-ups. Keep those hips nice and high. Drop your forehead in between the hands. Press back to arm's length. We've done this one last week. You know what we're doing. We still have 10 seconds rest. All right. Assume the position. 3, 2, 1, and go. Here as well, you can go slower on the way down to make it a little bit harder. Time. My timer has a beep on it, but I'm very deaf and the beep is very soft, so I have to check the time every now and then. All right. 20 seconds before we go into our chair dips. So remember, if you want to do some stretching in between, absolutely fine. I'm choosing to rest and talk to you guys. So use a stick if you need to. Pick the option you need. 2, 1, and go. Like I said, fine picking the option 1 with a little bit of a drive off that back leg. Fine picking the option 2 where that leg stays straight. And fine picking the option 3 as well, where you just touch the heel down and then drive back up. I'm sticking with 2 because I'm distracting myself with talking. It's even worse on the days where I have to actually count the reps. I'm hopeless. As soon as I start talking to you, I have to either count on my fingers, switch sides, or I just lose it. Just lose it. Now again, if you want to use weights for this one, you can. Dumbbells in the hands, kettlebell in front, med ball or sandbag hugged in front of the chest, barbell on the back. I'm not a big step up with barbell fan, just because if something goes wrong, that barbell can land in an uncomfortable spot. So I usually go with dumbbells. And time. Side plank, reach throughs. Now this set, I'll show you a different way to make this a little bit harder. Again, we're not looking to get super out of breath on this one. We're looking to challenge the muscles. Muscles around the core, especially the sides. So that's what we want to focus on. Can you feel them? But I'll talk you through a way to make it a little bit harder again without using the weight. 5, 4, top foot forward, hips up, and then I'll reach through and hold. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach, hold. Keep those hips low. Reach, hold. Reach, hold. Reach, hold. 3, 2, and switch sides. Same on the other side. Up, reach, hold. Up, hold. Reach, hold. Up, hold. Reach. Up. 3, 2, 1, and down. Good job. All right. Are you ready for the last round of the strength part? Now, different way to make it harder again. We're going to do some bottom half pulses on each of these exercises. Well, probably not the step ups because they're challenging enough for me as is. 8 seconds, and we're going to go into some Bulgarians. Use weights if you want to, or go with me and do body weight. Here we go. Down, pulse, 2, 3, 4, and up. Down. 1, 2, just about halfway. 3, 4, and up. Good. Don't just do the bottom part, because that's actually a little bit easier than coming up to the halfway mark. 4, and up. 10 seconds to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. Let's go. And time. Switch sides, straight into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. Straight back down. 3, 4. Starting to feel that. One more with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. Ooh. Okay. That did the trick for me. Plenty of ways to make stuff harder without using extra weight. High quality H2O. If you haven't watched The Water Boy yet in lockdown, shame on you. Pike push-ups. Who's brave enough to do pulses with me? 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, time. Perfect. So you can tell as I start struggling, talking is no longer happening. That was pretty hard. All right, next up we have the step ups, and then we have the reach throughs, and then we're done with this circuit. We have the ab circuit to go though. So that'll be fun. We remember that from last time, don't we? Maybe it's just me. 10 seconds. And pick your option. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Right here, guys, and the glutes. Those are the two. Anywhere else, those muscles are cheating. We're trying to help those two muscles out, and we're not having it. I don't need your help. 2, 1, and switch sides. Always exciting to see if I'll hit the beam. $15 seconds to go. And time. All right. We just have our reach throughs left. Different way to make those reach throughs a little bit harder, guys. Do as few reps if you can, without ever coming to a complete still. See how slow you can move, keeping the hips down, keeping the form well. Yeah? See how few reps you can get in, but never stopping in the movement. Starting at 5. And start. Super slow motion. This really forces you to control every part of that movement. Rotate, no stopping. Rotate back, no stopping. 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. 2 reps. Five, 4, 3, 2. All right. We are going to get. We are going to get a cool 35 seconds rest, which we're in right now, and we're going to go into our core circuit. We've got the flutter kicks. We've got side plank hip drops. More work for those obliques. And then we have the crunch pulses. Just burn, burn, burn. It's going to be 35 seconds on each. No rest. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Little pulses, a little flutter, sorry. One side, other side. And then bring those shoulder blades off the ground. Hands underneath the butt. Makes it a little bit easier. Muscles we're trying to get is the ab muscles. Hip flexors are working as well. Ten seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Side plank, hip drops, lift, touch, touch. Keep the body nice and straight. 20 seconds to go. Three, two, and switch sides. Feet on top of each other, hips on top of each other, shoulder blades on top of each other. Body long, lift up, touch down. Stay in that line. So don't want the hips to rotate back. We want to stay right on top of each other. We don't want the shoulder to rotate forward. We want to keep those shoulder blades on top of each other. 8 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Lie down on your back. Hands on the thighs. Pulse. Lift those shoulder blades. Lift those shoulder blades off the ground. Off the ground. 10 seconds to go. And into flutter kicks. Keep those shoulder blades off the ground here. And one side, other side. Now bad news, I could not get Daisy to come outside today. She went straight back to bed. So no Daisy appearance, claim to fame today. I can start feeling a mild burning sensation in my stomach. How about you? And time. Side plank, hip drops. Stack everything up. Lift and touch. We've got 5 seconds to go. And switch sides. Feet, hips, shoulders, and lift. Oops, bit of balance. Be wary. Is your body trying to escape the movement? Are you starting feeling it somewhere else? Are you bending your knees? Keep straight. You can do this on the knees, of course, but if you're going for that toe position, stay long. 2, 1, and pulses. Ten seconds before we go into our last round. All right, flutter kicks. Now guys, the thing about your abs, yes they hurt, but they will keep working for you. They really will. They're designed to work for long periods. Now, were they designed to do ab circuits? Probably not. But don't give up here just because it's mildly uncomfortable. Three, 2, 1. Silence. Feels almost like I'm saved. And then you do 1 or 2 of these and you realize, nope. From the frying pan into the fire. Although today is more of a water day. 10 seconds to go, guys. Work for it. And switch sides. Stay in that nice straight line. Don't push your butt back. Keep it forward, straight down, and lift. Ten more seconds. 3. And into pulses. Last bit. Let's get it. I can feel it, guys. 12 seconds to go. Keep them coming. And time. Ooh. All right. We'll go straight into our first stretch just because it's going to feel pretty nice. And that is the ab stretch. So, hands on the ground. Bring the hips down, lift the chest up, and try to get as much distance between the ribs and the hips as you can. You should feel like you're getting a bit of a stretch on those abs that have been working so hard. Alright, now push your butt back onto the heels and reach your hands away. In that position, I want you to take deep breaths into your lower back. So that's where you're trying to feel that you're expanding. Nice. Now, the last stretch that we're going to do, hip flexor stretch. But what we're going to change about it is we're going to make it a ballerina. So we're going to take that back leg, pull it across so it's about perpendicular, tuck the tail, and then push forward. Should feel a little bit more on the inside legs. There's different ways to stretch those hips. Yesterday we did the one where the knee fell out. The hips are going to be pretty tight if you're sitting down all day, typing away, sending memos, buy, sell, whatever you guys do. I don't know. I make people do push-ups, pike push-ups today. And switch to the other side. So regular hip flexor stretch position, but then take the knee across, tuck the hip under, so hips to ribs, and then push forward with the whole body. Try to get that stretch a little bit on the inside leg. So today is a little bit more of a strength workout, of course, less of a cardio-y one. Fairly whole body. The thing with training at home is if you don't have any equipment, it becomes pretty hard to train the upper back, any sort of pulling motion. So that's why we went to the ovals and did about 1 million Aussie pull-ups just to keep that balance there. Alright guys, that's it for me today. About 45 minutes work because taking more rest, of course. Hope that felt good. I hope you are good. And if nobody's told you today, you're a legend. Alright guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow.